Welcome guys, in this video I'm going to talk about quadratics in a standard form. So a quadratic in a standard form looks something like this. F of x equals a x minus h squared plus, or it could be plus or minus k. So looking at this form, you can get the vertex of the quadratic. In order to graph a quadratic in this form, all you have to do is get a vertex, and the vertex is always going to be, if you have it on this form, it's always going to be, you take the opposite of h, of the sign of h. So in this case, if this is negative, it will be h, and then you take the whatever k is with its sign. That's the vertex. Then you will also need to, in order to graph it, you will need the vertex, you will need the x-intercepts, and possibly the y-intercept. The way you get the y-intercept is by doing this f of 0, and you should be able, that should give you the y-intercept. X-intercept, you set f of x equals 0, and then you solve for your x-intercepts. You should get 2 if it is if they're real. You should get two reals. You might be able to get 2 imaginary as well. If it is imaginary, that means that it's not touching the x-axis, this here. If it is real, then you have the x-intercepts here on the axis. The y-intercept is always going to be somewhere here, somewhere in this vertical line. This is your y, this is your x. So let's look at an example. So you have f of x equals x minus 4 squared minus 1. Notice what's the coefficient of this parenthesis is technically it is 1, but we don't write it, so that means that a is equal to 1, and then h is equal to so basically you're gonna get h is gonna be here. H will be, let's say in this case is gonna be 4, and then k is gonna be equal to -1. Okay, so your h is always gonna be opposite sign of what's here. If it is negative, it's gonna be positive, hk. And then your k is always going to be whatever it is here, including the sign. So now that we have it, we have the vertex. So the vertex is going to be 4, -1. Then your y-intercept is going to be f of 0, which is going to be 0 minus 4 squared minus 1. 0 minus 4 is -4, -4 squared. That is equal to 16 minus 1, that's equal to 15. Okay. Then your x-intercepts, you set f of x equals 0, so you have 0 equals x minus 4 squared minus 1. How do you solve for x? Let's bring these to the other side. It'll be 1 equals x minus 4 squared. Then you take the square root on both sides. the square root of 1, remember when you have a square root on both sides, you have to put positive or minus a 1, because the square root of 1 is 1, but you have to put it on one side. Then the other side is going to be, by taking the square root, you get rid of the square, so you're going to left with x minus 4. Then you have two solutions. Then you bring the 4 to the other side. That will be x equals 4 plus or minus 1, which is equal to 5, that's 1, or 4 minus 1, 4 minus 4 plus 1 is 5, and then 4 minus 1 is 3. So these are your x-intercepts. So now we have whatever we need to graph it. So remember, your vertex are going to be 4, negative 1, and then you're going to have x-intercepts. I'm going to write it here. Is equal to 5 or 3. Then your y-intercept is 15. Your y-intercept is 15. Okay, so now let's do a graph. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So your vertex is 4, negative 1, 1. This is your x. So it's 4, negative 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your vertex. Then your x-intercepts are 5 and 3. So 3 is here. 3, 4, 5 here. Your y-intercept is 15, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Just gonna look something like this. Remember, these are your x-intercept, this is your vertex, and then your x-intercepts, and this is your y-intercept. And that's the graph of it. Thank you very much.